My name is Sasha Shane. I am the senior parent organizer with Bay Area Plan. I'm also a student at Holy Names University here in Oakland, and I'm going to school to become a teacher. So thank you so much for having me. Um, so first and foremost, I just want to say that Bay Area Plan has worked really hard with the community because we understand that communities of color were really impacted by COVID-19, and so we changed completely our strategy by increasing the number of organizers, providing financial support for those families who unfortunately lost their jobs, didn't get um, their unemployment on time, things of that nature. So we created the Family Thriving Fund, and that was very important for our community. In addition to that, we launched our campaign called Keep Our Kids Safe campaign, which is essentially asking for more resources. Again, quality distance learning is also one of our priorities as families, as well as a safe return to school. We're not saying keep the doors closed, but we want to make sure that those who decide to send their children to school have the opportunity to make sure that their kids will be as safe as possible. Some of our families have already volunteered to do some of the inspections, to do the walkthroughs with their union. And so we're very happy to see that the community is coming together to really ensure that kids have the safe space. We've also been fighting for language access. We are a multicultural organization that works with families who speaks English, obviously, and Spanish and Arabic and many other languages. So we want to continue to fight for that, and just to make sure that families are engaged in the process of the reopening. Right, we want to make sure that parents' voices are lifted, and not just some voices, but all of the voices. Um, and I just wanted to share a little bit of so I was an active participant in raising my nieces and nephews. I was member of the SSC, and many other things that I did to engage in the school, because I understand that it takes a village to raise a child. And to be honest, as an organizer, I was affected by COVID-19 personally. My parents both are undocumented, and unfortunately um, contracted COVID-19 through my nephew, who's 7 years old, who, was playing around, went outside, met one of his friends, and unfortunately got COVID. And my parents were really, really sick. And at that moment, even though I'm an organizer, I started to freak out because it's like, what do I do now? How do I help my family? My parents are over 60 years old. And I was really, really concerned. Now, with this reopening, I'm really concerned that my niece and nephews will have to go back to school, and this could happen again. And we just don't know if it could be worse the next time around. So um, I just want to say that we want to lift those voices of people of color who are concerned. There are undocumented families, there are Black families who unfortunately do not have access. I have to fight for my family to get um, the COVID 19 test. And so imagine me as an organizer having some level of advocacy for myself and for my families. I still had to fight for those resources. I want to make sure that those families are not found in those circumstances moving forward, and that we continue to listen to our families. And if they say that they're not ready to go back to school, I have one of the parents that I organized with. Her name is um, Josefina Flores, whose child has a pre-existing condition. And she's saying, I know my child is sad. I know my child wants to go back to school, but I have to do what's best for her. And for now, she will stay at home. And she's not the only story that I'm hearing from our families. We have multiple families who are saying, even though my child is going to fall back academically, it's okay. We have to recognize there's a pandemic out there, and that we need to follow the guidance.